Hey guys, Brian with B&T Garage. Today it's Lunch with Brian. For Christmas, Trentonian got a self-balancing scooter, hoverboard. I'm not really quite sure what the terminology is or what it's actually called. But it's one of those self-balancing things that you stand on and they hurt you and they explode and burn your house down. The one that Trenton got is black. For Trentonian, that's just not cool enough. So what we're gonna do today at our lunch break, which is in a couple hours, we're gonna make a color change on it, so we have to get it taped up and then get it plasti-dipped, hopefully before he gets home today. It should be fun, and it's gonna be a color that he suggested, so stick around, let's go get this thing plasti-dipped. Here is the bomb, the fire bomb, the lithium explosion just waiting. Alright, so you can see it's black. He's already got it pretty beat up. But we're gonna have to tape off these little pads here, which determine which way it's going, and then we need to, there's like little headlights here. So we're gonna tape those off. These charging ports need to get taped up. The wheels, of course. What are you doing, Jackers? Oh, Cooper! You can't just push people over like that, you big goon. Jeez Louise, man. So I'm gonna go now to the old parts store. I think O'Reilly will have maybe pink. If not, I'll have to hit Home Depot. Hopefully they have the color. I want to get this done today. He's been asking for it for a little while. I hate to make people wait. Well, O'Reilly only had black, blue, red, and graphite. So while graphite would actually look pretty darn cool, I don't think that's what Trentonian is looking for. I hope they got it at Home Depot. They don't have any cool colors. That's pretty lame. Pretty lame, Home Depot. Go to Lowe's, right down the street. Alright, let's see if Lowe's has got it. Fingers crossed. Due to the fact that there's no plasti-dip, today, for Lunch with Brian, which I will not be showing you guys, it's pretty disgusting, I will be picking up dog. Okay, y'all, it's been, I don't know, 5 days since we last tried to plasti-dip the hoverboard. Originally, we were gonna do pink for Trentonian, but we're gonna go with purple instead. We had to order it from a website. I think it was Amazon or Dip Your Car, something like that. Plasti-dip Blaze. I'm guessing the blaze is the color. As you can see, it's purple. I've been shaking it for about 5-10 minutes. Let me get some more light in here. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. Now you can see my beautifully fat, furry face. Okay, let's do this. Here's what we got going on. The self-balancing scooter, the wheels are taped off. The lights are taped off on the front. I've kind of done a division line here, so I'm gonna do it in 2 pieces. And then the charging ports and power button, as you can see there, are taped off. The first 2 coats will be light. It's about 10 minutes in between. And then you got to do at least 6 coats. So like coats 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the 4 coats need to be thick, but not so thick that you run it. And then I'll let it dry for a couple hours. And then by the time Trentonian gets home, we can do the top part. All right. off. Anyways, by the time we get to the third and fourth coat, it will not be translucent like that. It'll be pretty much purple. Focus on my face. Okay, there we go. All right, 2 coats are on the hoverboard thingamajigger. Let's go ahead and put now it's gonna be thick. I have to put these on thick enough to cover but not run. And I'm a little worried that it's not gonna be as purple as I would like, because actually the directions say that you should put a white base coat down. But I think it might be cool with this kind of darker purple liner. So we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work, it's plastic. I'll just pull it off and do it over again. It's pretty simple. All right, let me go ahead and get coat 3 on. It's been, I don't know, like 25 minutes. I just did the 4th coat, put it on pretty thick. Let's see what it looks like. So you can tell it's slowly getting purple, but it's a little cold in here, so it's not really drying all that fast. And I'm wondering if maybe I should have done a white undercoat, but I'll leave that up to Trentonian. What I can always do is, if it's not purple enough, I can just get white, put 1 layer of white and then another layer of purple, and it'll be fine. The reason why you have to put so many layers is, 1, for coverage, but for 2, when you remove this, if you don't put it on thick enough, it's going to be hard as hell to come off. So when you put like 6 coats, like I'm doing here, it'll pull off essentially in one big sheet, and that's what you want with plasti-dip. Not that I'm an expert, but I've done a lot of research on it, and everyone says you got to put at least 6 coats minimum. The first 2 are very light, and then you put them on heavier, and then you want full coverage on each pass when you get to 3rd, 4th, 5th coats. And that's what I've done here. What you're looking at is 4th coat was full coverage each pass, and it's been 25 minutes, and you can still see where it's glossy right there. That's still wet, and this is dry. I can touch this, it's dry right here. So I'm going to give it another 15 minutes. Then I'll come back and do coat 5 and 6. And by the time Trentonian gets back, it'll be 3. We'll be ready to flip it over and do the top side, and hopefully get some of that done before we have to go to hockey tonight. How to focus here? Focus my face. Okay, I did the bottom. I had a little bit of a problem when I took, because I separated the top half and the bottom half with tape. When I pulled the tape off that separation point between the top and the bottom halves, I got a little bit of peel up, because what you're supposed to do if you tape, you're technically supposed to pull the tape before it completely dries, or at least go back with the razor blade and cut those seams, and I didn't. Oops. So what I did is I used a razor blade and I cut out the part that rippled up, pulled it off, and then I'll just, when I do the top, which I'm doing now, that should fill back in. Do you like the color?
Yeah. This took me 2 hours to rebuild.
Alright guys, so it's the next day. The battery died on the camera, so I kind of didn't get the top part, the top half being plasti-dipped. It turned out alright. I did have one small mistake where when I was plasti-dipping, I forgot to tape off one of the foot pads, but it came off pretty easily. It looks pretty good. So yeah, again, I didn't get a lot of it, but it was the same process that I used on the bottom half. It was six coats, started off 2 light, and then the rest really, really thick. Hold on a second. All right, so without further ado, here's what it looks like. Trenton likes it. There is one thing to note, that when you're doing a color like this, the base color that you're going over definitely affects the tint and color that comes out. Like I said on the can before, they recommended that you do a white base coat. I didn't do that, so the base coat is black, so therefore the purple is very dark. Here's how it came out. I think it's good. Trenton loves it. And I'm looking forward to plasti-dipping even more stuff. Especially this one's gonna get plasti-dipped red. So, let's take a look. So here is the finished result. It's pretty purple. There's a little bit of overspray on the pads there. I realize that, but everything else looks pretty good. And that's pretty much what it takes to plasti-dip one of these things. It's pretty simple. It's mostly just masking off and just taking your time and doing the proper number of coats and the proper thickness of each coat. As I got on into the later coats, like 5 and 6, I put it on pretty thick. All right, that's lunch with Brian. It took more than my usual hour. It's way past that. So, deuces.